We're being siloed into a bubble. Our likes empower the algorithm. It feeds us what we want to keep us engaged. It wants to sell our attention. We slip deeper into a constraining narrative. But we must break free. We must burst the bubble. Truths will be learned. Cognitive dissonance will make our hearts and heads ache. Different perspectives will bring us wisdom. Some truths will be hilarious, others painful. But we must be free. We must break into the DisAlgorithm.
Hey, welcome to the DisAlgorithm. We're in my regular feed. We're going to take a look at that for a little bit. Then we're going to pop the bubble, go over to the DisAlgorithm, see what the other side is saying. Alright, just going to refresh this. This says, "You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." Matthew 10:22. Alright, just the first there. Do you think anxiety is just about feeling anxious? Think again. It's a complex condition that can stem from brain damage, thyroid issues, heart disease, and even past vaccine injuries. Unfortunately, these underlying causes are rarely explored when anxiety is diagnosed and treated. That's probably true. Nancy Pelosi makes $174,000 a year and has a net worth of $413 million. Teacher arrested in killing of couple at Devil's Den Park. That's a teacher. Please. Looks like a ogre. What is he wearing? Like all tattered. Okay.
Rochester, Durbin.
Oh no. Did that really happen?
Senators voting in the affirmative. Baldwin, Blunt Rochester, Durbin.
Oh.
Heinrich.
She just misjudged that.
Hirono,
She thought she was sitting up against it.
Senators voting in the affirmative. Baldwin, Blunt Rochester, Durbin.
Ah.
Heinrich.
She's just embarrassed.
Hirono, Kane.
I could make a joke, but I don't like seeing people get hurt.
Senators voting in the affirmative. Baldwin.
Glad you're okay,
Rochester,
Chief Warren.
Durbin.
Must be those Cherokee jeans. What? Why is everyone talking about jeans? Because of that stupid ad or what? I don't like it. I don't like it. Quit talking about jeans. Who cares? Trump believes Netanyahu is prolonging Gaza war for political reasons. Of course. Because he doesn't want to be investigated. As soon as the war's over, they're going to look into the corruption of the war. Bringing him up on war crimes and stuff. And he said they wouldn't even investigate October 7th when Hamas attacked. They weren't even going to investigate that until the war's over. And there's a lot of evidence that they withheld their forces and just held everyone back and let them do what they were going to do so that they can respond the way they have. And, yeah, it shouldn't have taken them that long to get to their citizens. Yeah, so there was a stand down called during October 7th, in my opinion. he doesn't want that all that coming to life. So he's just going to keep all these emergency acts going, all this war. That's why they just keep on attacking people over and over. As soon as it's over, he's gonna get taken out of office, and he doesn't want that because he's gonna be brought up on charges, and he should be. He's turning the whole world against Israel. Vigilant Fox, see every post from me.
Wasteland.
This guy is starting to go viral, so let's...
What I witnessed in Gaza, I can only describe as a dystopian, post-apocalyptic wasteland.
This guy is starting to go viral, so let's get ahead of it. This is Anthony Aguilar, a former Green Beret with 25 years of military service. He is being hailed as a whistleblower hero. He's accusing the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation of crimes against humanity, and the media is eating it up.
We, the United States, are complicit. We are involved, hand in hand, in the atrocities and the genocide that is currently undergoing in Gaza.
Aguilar was not an outsider. He worked on the ground in Gaza, contracted through UG Solutions, the security firm supporting the mission. And the text messages you're about to see, well, they were released by legal counsel for UG Solutions, and they flat out contradict everything he's telling the media now. So here are some of those text messages showing he praised the mission. You're doing an AF phenomenal job. You're crushing it. It's a privilege and an honor to see America's best doing this work. You're making a difference every minute. So what changed? Well, on June 13th, he's terminated, even though he says he resigned. June 14th, according to legal counsel, he starts begging to come back. I don't want to leave. I can be of huge value. Take advantage of me as an asset. June 21st, the pressure starts. Figure something out or I'm on a plane come Tuesday and the gloves are off. June 22nd, things start to get ugly. I can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. Stop effing around, put me back to work. If you want to play games, we can play games. So is this a whistleblower or a fired employee trying to force his way back in? July 4th, he's still trying to come back. I'm submitting a new application to be reconsidered for contract work in Israel, Gaza. He only went public after that door was shut for good. And there's also a fabricated memo, apparently. He claimed it was written on May 28th, but the metadata shows otherwise. Created July 21st, terminated June 13th. He wrote it weeks after he was fired and backdated it allegedly to make himself look credible. So is this a whistleblower or a disgruntled employee who was fired and is now rewriting the entire story? The media should be taking a hard look at this before giving him a huge platform.
Now, both sides are
What I witnessed in Gaza, I can only...
propaganda. I don't know. Everything I've seen out of Gaza, though, supports what he is saying in his whistleblower testimony. So they should show how that is not true. I mean, show us parts of Gaza that aren't blown to bits. There's just too much stuff coming out of there. I don't believe a word from Israel. I don't believe a word from Gaza or anyone that's got something against Israel. This is a huge quagmire. It's always been. Obama, Clinton, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, Rice, etc. should not be allowed to leave the country. Are you guys going to ever do anything? U.S. Senate releases docs proving Hillary knew Trump was innocent of Russia collusion and worked with the FBI to frame him. This is cut and dry treason. She must be indicted now along with her conspirators. Yep. What the heck is this? Oh. Jeez.
Me and followed me home. In short, I was on a night out with some friends, And at the end of the night, I kind of broken up with that friend group. So I decided to make my own way home. As I was walking home, I bumped into this individual. He just started grabbing me and touching me and followed me home. I asked him to do that. He just ignored me. About halfway home, he at one point pinned me against a door and started biting me. 2 people walked past and asked him if I was okay, to which he then backed off for a second to respond to these people. That's when I slipped away. And I carried on walking. I didn't realise that he then started following me for about 15 minutes. And then we got close to a graveyard, and he just grabbed me and pushed me into the graveyard and took off my clothes.
Now, you don't have to answer this, but can you tell us what happened in the graveyard specifically? Again, if you're not comfortable answering, just tell me and we can move on.
Yeah, I can do. He pushed me against this brick and tried to force me down against this brick wall. I ended up pushing back on him, and he fell back for a second, and I turned around and faced him, and we were like facing each other. And then he pushed me to the ground, and then went to me on the ground.
So he sexually assaulted you in this graveyard. How long did the whole thing take? How long did the whole incident last?
So from when I first bumped into him in the city centre, up until when I finally left him, was maybe about 45 minutes.
And what happened straight afterwards? How did the sort of incident end? What did you run? Did you call the police? Can you just tell us a bit more about that?
I did. I ran home after that point. I ran. My house was only a 5-minute run away. So yeah, I just ran home.
Where was this? I guess in Canada?
In short, I was on a night out with some friends.
Arrest Hillary. Yeah, I wish they'd arrest someone. They keep on claiming all this treason, but they're not doing anything about it. So, I guess they're just building their case. I don't know why they're talking about it then. They just need to come out with all the evidence and start indicting. The evidence is now indisputable. The criminal Russiagate co-conspirators' only defense is to claim they actually believe their own bullcrap and thus had an innocent state of mind while carrying it out. Ironically, this is the same linchpin the Trump prosecutions hung on. Yeah. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. We believed it. We believed our own lies. Ridiculous. We believed we were following up on our own lies. Okay. After years of persistent work by U.S. intelligence professionals, the United States conducted an airstrike that killed the co-founder and leader of Al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri, at his safe house in Kabul, Afghanistan, on this date, 2020. Shut up and do something now. I love how Elizabeth Warren just ate crap on the Senate floor. She attempted a casual lean to look like a normal human being, but totally botched it. That's so mean. I've done dumb stuff like this before. Probably drunk. She's got her foot up against that, and then she thinks it's right there, but it's not. All right, these dumb ads. Why did I The Oreo stock market theory. More stuffing indicates market instability. The theory suggests that the introduction of Oreos with increased cream filling, like double stuff, triple, double, or more stuff, signifies an excessive greed and risk taking within the financial system, potentially foreshadowing a market downturn. Oreo and Reese's thrill fans with tasty historic announcement ending years of pleading for a collab. Uh-oh. Honestly, that looks really good. Now, these things are poison, though. Man, Reese's is coming out with so much stuff. It's like Reese's everything. I saw Reese's animal cookies. Man, I want to try that. And then they have Reese's bark. They have pretzels and peanut butter and jelly and just all kinds of stuff. It's wild.
We are putting.
It's not unusual to see an appointment announced, I don't know, well before then. Do you have any idea on when we might hear what the president is thinking in terms of Chair Powell's replacement?
I do. I'm going to be.
Can you tell us?
I'm going to be. Sure, Joe. If you could just lean forward, I'll tell you a little.
Oh, it's Connie Chung whispered in my ear. Yeah,
so
that's right.
We are putting together a very good list of candidates, and remember, there are going to be 2 seats opening up. Governor Kugler will be leaving in, I can't remember whether it's January, February. Chair Powell in May, so there will be 2 seats opening up. I'm putting together a list for President, Chief of Staff to review. We'll be interviewing people. So I would expect that we could have an announcement by the end of the year.
Seems like we need to move on this stuff a little quicker.
It's not unusual to see an appointment announced.
Oh, these videos make me so mad. Not playing for some reason. This is the World War III propaganda that will be shown to future generations. 40+ million injured and dead from biological, psychological terrorism, like it never happened. While they just danced in empty corridors. MK Ultra at a planetary scale. Millions sick and dead, not one arrest.
Sucking in because they happen to be in the area. This is what happens when the 4th turning meets 5th generation warfare.
This is broadcast.
Having seen the inside of this machine, can you give us a honest man's opinion, having seen the inside of this machine and knowing so very closely the Trump team and the president himself? What's going to happen? Like, prepare our audience, right? Like, what's going to happen?
Right. So if you're Clapper or Brennan or Comey or Obama, every time the phone rings, every time there's a knock at the door, every time you hear the leaves rustle on your stoop, you're wondering whether or not it's somebody serving you a subpoena or giving you notice of service that you're going to have to provide documents and potentially testimony to a grand jury. Decisions will have to be made by some really smart prosecutors like Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche about who to flip, who to give immunity to that will be the narrator of this great conspiracy. Whenever you have a major conspiracy trial, you have to have a great narrator. And who's that going to be? who maybe wants the opportunity to participate in the proceedings in that way. That's the next thing coming, the subpoenas, and then who flips.
And one more time, I'm not a betting man, but please handicap for us, Matt. Do you expect people will go to prison for this?
Well, look, I think that it's always difficult to get in front of the prosecutors who have to make some of these charging decisions, but a lot of that's going to come down to venue. I don't know whether or not some of these things happened outside of DC in jurisdictions where you can get a fair shake. We already had Andrew McCabe strung up, ready to go on lying to Congress, and there wasn't a grand jury that would even indict him in Washington, D.C. because of the nature of that deeply corrupt place. So I think that the venue question is what that will turn on.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll take mugshots for right now. You know, I'll start with the low-hanging fruit, man. I'll take the mugshots.
Just nice to, hey, by the way, just nice to get the Durham annex here in 2025. Thank goodness. I wonder what annexes we're going to be getting in 2035, Benny. Maybe that's when we'll get. Maybe that's when we'll get the Benny Johnson Tim Pool annex. We'll wait till 2035 and learn.
That's right. I've been asking. What a filthy, dirty op, man. What a filthy, dirty op. I'm telling you, that thing stinks to high heavens.
I like Matt Gaetz, but man, all the work he's done on his face, it makes him look like a cartoon character. This looks.
Can you give us a?
So he's saying, I don't know if anything's gonna come. We don't know how to prosecute anyone because we can't get a fair trial here in DC. So when is anything gonna happen? Who knows? Legacy media has no shame. Neither do sanctuary states. The media is going to bankrupt, and states like New Jersey need to be defunded. That's the only way they'll learn.
No idea that you were taking it. I know, you've gone through a lot of shit. And this latest thing with getting off of the benzodiazepine, that to me was a real shocker. Because, first of all, I had no idea that you were taking it.
Benzodiazepines are like Valium. The medicines you take for anxiety. Lortab. Advent something else, isn't it?
And then to find out that it's that difficult to get off of, and then to hear from other people that have tried to get off of it how difficult it is, and then to realize how many people around me have an issue with that stuff. Xanax is a motherfucker. And I didn't know what a motherfucker it was until I talked to a friend who is a counselor at a drug rehab center, where he was saying that that is one of the ways that people get locked back into drinking and doing drugs, is a psychiatrist will prescribe Xanax. And sober people who get on Xanax all of a sudden start drinking. He said it's super common. He said that it's one of the most difficult drugs to get off of. He said, and this is something that Dr. Carl Hart, who's I love him to death. He's brilliant. He speaks so openly and honestly about drugs, and the guy's a professor at Columbia. He said that there's two drugs that will kill you when you get off of them. He goes, it's alcohol and benzodiazepine. Those are the two that if you just quit, you'll fucking die.
Or you wish you would.
Meanwhile, they're handing those things out like Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Well, they were regarded as a safe substitute for barbiturates. And you could easily overdose on barbiturates, especially with alcohol.
Well, when did they know? When was it in the literature, the difficulty of detoxing yourself from these?
Very recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And when did they start being handed out?
20 years ago.
Fuck.
More.
So what happened? People just stayed on them?
Often.
I have one good friend that takes it every day and takes it oftentimes with alcohol, which I know you're absolutely not supposed to do. There's not a damn thing I can do about it. this is a friend that I love to death, and I put my hands up and I go, there's nothing I can do. And he's been on it for more than 10 years.
Yeah, well, I started taking them because I was ill.
Yeah.
And they helped because I
Ill
couldn't
in-
sleep. Well, I
ill in
couldn't
what
sleep
way?
at all. I don't know. I still really don't know what happened
You
to
couldn't
me.
sleep, and so an anti-anxiety medication.
I've had a history of depression, and that runs in my family, and that's probably stems back for me right to the time when I was a kid. And I think when I really got sick in 2016, it was partly a manifestation of that. But at the time, my job was threatened, like actually.
Right. Yeah.
And my clinical practice was threatened. And the Canadian Revenue Agency was after me all at the same time. And they were after me because of a mistake they had made, which they admitted 3 months later. And the college was after me because of a vindictive client who came after me with a pack of lies, but because they were so... And basically I emerged from that unscathed, but that was by no means obvious that that was going to be the case. I was accused of sexual misconduct. And the evidence? When I was dealing with this client, I would turn my wedding ring around. I really helped her a lot.
So unfortunately, when you're dealing with people that are extremely troubled, oftentimes they look for external reasons why they're troubled, and they find oppressors.
Well,
and
she
they
was
find-
also angry with me because when all this blew up around me, it interfered with my clinical practice, and she had come to rely on our weekly meetings.
Oh,
and
you
so
had to
she
disrupt them.
was angry about being abandoned, and it was
Oh.
really sad because I didn't want to abandon my clients, but I had to stop my clinical practice, which was also very upsetting to me because I had like 20 clients, and I knew
Right.
these people, man. Like they were,
Right.
I knew these people.
Yeah.
I'd followed them through thick and thin. And then all of a sudden, so many things piled up around me that I found when I was in a clinical session that I was distracted.
So
Well, you can't be distracted in a clinical session.
Right.
And so, anyways, what emerged from that, and it was in the middle of the winter, and I have seasonal affective disorder, I couldn't sleep and at all for quite a long time. And I went to my doctor and I said, I can't sleep. And he gave me a sleeping medication and an anti-anxiety drug. And I took a little bit of the anti-anxiety drug and I could sleep. And my life was pretty stressful. And I thought, okay, I'm much better. I'm just going to leave this be. This is working. I'm not going to muck with it because I could barely go back to work.
And what was it? A low dose?
Yeah. I couldn't even
Of
feel it.
Xanax? Really?
Yeah, it was a low dose.
So it alleviated the anxiety, but it didn't affect your cognitive performance, or it didn't affect the way.
Well, it didn't affect it as much as how sick I was. Like that really affected it.
So sick meaning
Oh,
depressed.
No,
you mean
no.
When
no,
you say
no,
you're
it was-
sick.
No. When it hit, if I stood up, my blood pressure was really low. If I stood up, I'd faint. I was fainting
When-
5 or
when-
6 times a day.
When are we talking about here?
2016.
Okay, so this was when all the pressure from all these different sources was coming at you.
Yeah.
And that was making you sick. So it was
No,
physically.
yeah, that was part of it. I think what it did was it stressed me enough so that I was more susceptible to whatever was wrong with me in the first place.
So there was
'Cause I've had a
something-
lot of immunological problems.
How long did it take you to recover from the benzos?
Well, when I finally 2 years. And I haven't fully recovered, but
You haven't
also
fully
I was
recovered?
also sick. No, my left hand is quite numb, and was way more numb. Both hands of my feet were like completely numb, and I was in like excruciating pain for 2 years, like pain at levels that I didn't even know was possible.
All the time, or
No,
on occasion?
No, this is one of the things that was terrible about it is that it was really, really bad in the morning.
And what did it start right after you got off of the Xanax?
No, but it got way worse.
So it just started showing up eventually.
Yeah.
And then
It started to get worse about the same time that Tammy went into the hospital, but because she was fighting her way through, catastrophic cancer at the same time when this started to happen.
So this was additional stress.
Yes.
And that heightened everything.
Well, it certainly didn't help.
Right.
I think it made me more susceptible to something that was already happening.
Yeah, those benzos aren't a joke. There's Ativan, Xanax, Valium, Klonopin, Lorazepam, all those for anxiety. They're very dangerous medications.
I know,
and they're
you know,
given
you've
out
gone
like
through a lot
candy.
of shit.
And like they're saying, it could be fatal if you get off of them. So be very careful with those. I wouldn't take them. You know, I think humans are supposed to experience anxiety, and we have a lot of problems with that in today's society. And just taking a drug for it, I think, covers up a lot of puts a band-aid on the problem, and you're not getting down to the issue, and you're making more problems for yourself by taking these medications. All the side effects of it aren't worth it. It's the most addictive drug there is, and can be fatal if you get off of it. But that's our health system. That's our pharmaceutical health system. That's what they love. But they give it to everyone at a moment's. Just as soon as you say, I got some anxiety, they're like, oh, here you go. All right, we're going to pop the bubble. We're going to head over to the DisAlgorithm, see what the other side is saying. Older generations say we all struggled in our 20s. No, you didn't. You didn't pay $2,200 for rent, $7 for eggs. You didn't graduate into $50K student debt and zero job security. Gen Z isn't dramatic, they're drowning. Yes, I know, a lot of that is your own choices as far as student debt. You know, just don't go to college. Go to trade school. Get a good job through trade school. They are right about all these struggles as far as that. So yes and no. Yeah, it's this collapsing our economy is. Raise your hand if you never voted for Would you support releasing the Epstein files, even if it could send Republicans to prison? Yes. Everyone wants that. No one's going to cover for a Republican. They're guilty of that. We aren't a cult like you guys think. And if it all comes out that they're Democrats, are you guys going to believe it? Are you going to support them going to prison? See, huh? Because it is going to come out. People are going to know. This guy makes me sick. Let's settle this once and for all. Is Trump the absolute worst president in the United States? That's the gist of all of his posts, his tweets, his X's, or whatever you call them, posts. Yeah. GOP can only win by cheating. Oh, are we gerrymandering now, like you guys do every time? Are we gerrymandering now? Oh, poor Adam Kinziger. At least he didn't post Epstein 10 million different times. Okay. Gonna post this every day. Oh.
About the maps coming out of Texas, which you may... Hi, it's Pete. I wanted to say something about the maps coming out of Texas, which you may have seen. A GOP plan to gerrymander and redistrict to give
Oh no, like you guys do every time.
Obviously, this is unfair. It's undemocratic. It needs to be
opposed.
But it
Is
also
it when you
tells
do
us
it?
something very important that's actually encouraging. What it shows is that Republicans believe that they will lose Congress unless they change the maps before the next election, which means they are feeling the heat, they are feeling the pressure, even in Texas, over their incredibly unpopular policies like cutting Medicaid in order to give major tax breaks to the
isn't
wealthiest
happening.
people in this country. And it means
It's
our
the
job
Epstein
is to
stuff.
continue to keep up the pressure on those issues and, of course, to demonstrate that we can do better. Hi, it's Pete. I wanted to say something about the maps coming out of
Oh,
Texas.
isn't
which you
that
may
cute?
have
He's
seen.
growing a little beard. Looks like a little chipmunk. Looks like a little chipmunk. Cried about gerrymandering. Huh. Thought I felt an earthquake just now. Something. Let's see, it's 12:58. Thursday, July 31st. Look up and see if I really felt that. It was something. Might just be my cooler. Alright, am I in Buttigieg's whatever. Horrific arrest today at immigration court. Oh no! A young man who didn't speak English, only Arabic, was granted a continuance by a federal judge until 2027. Why? He leaves court, is violently arrested by ICE agents. Good. What happens next? I urge you to watch and listen. Who cares? Goodbye.
He speaks Arabic.
I'm helping. He speaks Arabic. Poor baby. He's going home. Doesn't sound like Arabic. Sounds like bad baby. Oh my gosh. And the Oscar goes to just crying like a baby. I swear, all these drama queens. Go home. Goodbye. How well do you think Kamala would have done as a president, 1 to 10? What do you think? How well of a border czar was she? Dershowitz says he's suing Martha's Vineyard Farmers Market after the pierogi guy refused to sell to him yesterday because he defends Trump.
I don't approve of. I said, "Oh, can I have 6 pierogi?" And he said, "No." I said, "Oh, you've run out of pierogi? Too bad." No. We have plenty of pierogi. I just won't sell them to you. What do you mean you won't sell them to me? I won't sell them to you because I don't approve of your politics. I don't approve of who you've represented. I don't approve of who you support. I said, what is it about my politics that you don't? I'm not going to tell you. So that's the book fair. The library has banned my books. The library has banned me. Once they allowed me to talk, once after I.
This guy is all over the files. But I don't care. I mean, there's actual victims that have said he's done stuff, so. Guess who ain't in the Epstein files? Yeah, did you read his daughter's diary? He didn't need to go to any island. He was already blackmailed. Someone explained to me just what the hell Obama did wrong. I'll wait. Why don't you turn on the news? The Trump administration just announced that they will build a massive $200 million gold-plated ballroom at the White House after signing a law cutting 17 million Americans' health care. $200 million gold-plated ballroom. I think they should just build a whole new White House. I think, well, it's got so much historical. Shouldn't be spending. Cutting 17 million Americans' health care. That's so dumb. Trump inflation, I've already taken care of. Prices are way down for everything, groceries, everything. Not way down. I mean, coming down a little bit.
It almost feels like an unforced error. You know, if you think inflation, I've already taken care of. Prices are way down for everything, groceries, everything. It almost feels like an unforced error. You know,
way down for gas. But prices are still high at the grocery store. Not as high as what they were with Biden. They were getting so bad under Biden.
Have beneficiaries a fraud war room using this kind of technology because we'll know who you are,
Dr.
who your
Oz.
doctor is. We can block this. We're going to have remarkable advances in how consumers can use their own records. We'll have beneficiaries be able to get MAHA advice and prevention tips and even be able to nudge them and reward them perhaps for that. And all this comes back to one fundamental issue, Mr. President, which is leadership. I think 60 people, the biggest, the best, the willing, came forward because of your leadership, because you weren't going to take no for an answer, and they know it. We are building a robust and safe, I emphasize that, safe system. It's going to protect the data better than we could have imagined. We're going to be able to accomplish goals that all of us wished from day one that would be in place. These pledges are now confirmed. They're signed in public. And you have therefore empowered Americans to own their property, which is their medical records. A fraud war room using this kind of technology because we'll know who you are and who you're.
Trump fighting for his life to stay awake during the roundtable event. Yeah. He was dozing a little bit. Sources inside the White House say he's much sicker than people realize. He's seriously unwell and barely manages to get through a full day, let alone a week. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, Joe. So dumb. What was Biden doing? He wouldn't even attend any kind of round table or anything. And he barely closes his eyes, and you can see him kind of dozing a little bit, and then he straightens up and looks around and is like, doesn't want to get caught doing that. And then just blow it out way out of proportion. So dumb. Pictures. Totally innocent pictures, and they got to be disgusting about it. Everybody has been baffled by this story from Trump. Let's see.
MIT 3 degrees. And I have to brag just for a second, because when I first heard about AI, it's not my thing. Although my uncle was at MIT, one of the great professors, 51 years, whatever, he was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT 3 degrees in nuclear, chemical, and math. That's a smart man. Kaczynski was one of his students. Do you know who Kaczynski was? There's very little difference between a madman and a genius. But Kaczynski, I said, what kind of a student was he, Uncle John, Dr. John Trump? He said, what kind of a student? And then he said, seriously good. He said he'd go around correcting everybody, but it didn't work out too well for him. Didn't work out too well, but it's interesting.
Kaczynski was the Unabomber. His dad had him as a student. Everyone knows he was really smart. Everybody has been baffled by the story from Trump last week, where he claims his Uncle John, or his uncle, taught Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, at MIT. Kaczynski didn't go to MIT, and John Trump died long before he was identified as the Unabomber. So where did this come from? I don't know. What he said, though. Before you burst out laughing, remember that his followers believe him. Okay.
Very close together. India, six wars in the last. I'm averaging about a war a month, but the last 3 were very close together. India and Pakistan and a lot of them. Congo was just done. Rwanda was just done. But you probably know, I won't go into it very much because I don't know the final numbers yet. I don't know. Numerous people were killed, and I was dealing with 2 countries that we get along with very well, very different countries from certain standpoints. They've been fighting for 500 years, intermittently, and we solved that war. You probably saw it just came out over the wire, so we solved it through six wars in the last.
I'm sure
I'm averaging.
He thinks that he had a lot to do with it, and if you ask those countries, I think they would back him in saying that, whether or not you believe it, Tom, or Tom. I'm sure those countries will agree with Trump. So, who's to say? I don't know. Who else agrees with Kamala Harris? Without a doubt, would have been a better person. Oh my gosh, I love those posts. Please run again. Please run. Trump fell asleep. Oh my god. He stared down for a second. And he did a little nod, yeah. Right here. You guys even remember Joe Biden? You remember what it was like watching that cartoon character that was, just a meat sack puppet being propped up like Weekend at Bernie's? Yeah. It's like they don't even remember it. They don't care. It's just all mouthpieces. Harry Sisson, he's one of the worst mouthpieces for the Democrats. They'll say anything. The whole time Biden was falling down and falling asleep all the time, they just praised him. That he's doing such an amazing job. Whatever you do, don't retweet this video of Dropkick Murphys playing a montage of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein at a concert. Trump and MAGA might not be able to cope. Oh no. Like we haven't seen all this stuff before. Saying stupid. Okay. Well, that's it for today.
The DisAlgorithm.